While I was researching this video, I found 10 to 20 myths about woodworking that I was going to share with you today. But ultimately, that just sounded so gimmicky and not really what I want my channel to be about. So today, instead, I'm going to share with you one myth that has cost me the most and has bitten me as recently as the last commission table that I built for a client. So stick with me and let's dig into why overclamping is a problem. And if you're already aware of this and overclamping your woodworking projects is not a problem for you, then by all means, swipe on, move on, find something else to watch. We appreciate you stopping by. For the rest of us, what I want to do is share with you today some information about how and why overclamping is such a problem in the woodworking industry. So if you're new to woodworking or you're just getting back into woodworking again after a long time, I really think this particular video will be helpful for you because I swear every time I learn this lesson, I seem to unlearn it for some reason. And what I'm talking about today is overclamping. So if you're not sure if you're overclamping or not, let me give you a little test that you can give yourself. If you've clamped up your boards with pipe clamps or F-style clamps like this, and they're smiling at you in the middle, you've bought into the myth and you are overclamping your boards. Now, why is that a problem? I'm glad you asked. One, you're starving the joint of glue by squeezing all of the glue out with excess clamping pressure. And two, you're actually crushing the wood fibers and pulling the boards together. And if you get really extreme like this took me some work to get this one clamped this tight. But if you clamp too tight, what you end up doing is you end up cupping your boards, like what I'm going to show you here. And now when you're done, you have a cupped board that doesn't look good. And if it's recoverable at all, you're going to have to plane it down, sand it down, and otherwise make the overall project far thinner than maybe you wanted it to be in the beginning. To give you a really good example of that, I told you in the beginning of this video that I wanted to share with you a woodworking project where overclamping cost me in the end. This isn't the same piece, but I was working on a solid hickory desk for a client, and the desk started out about 2 inches thick. And I had individual boards that were about 5 or 6 inches wide that I glued up, similar to this Rubo workbench. So glue on both sides. I didn't use any dominoes or biscuits because I wasn't too concerned about slippage. I clamped them up, and once again, I applied too much clamping pressure. And what happened was I ended up crushing the fibers, and overall my desk that was about 2.5 feet wide ended up cupping to the point where by the time I could recover it, the desk went from being 2 inches thick, which the overall design was for it to be 1.75 inches, but basically came down to just about 1 inch thick by the time I removed all of the high spots from the outer edges of the desk from applying too much clamping pressure and pulling the boards together like this. I didn't notice it at the time because it was laying flat on a bench, and with the naked eye, it looked like it was flat enough. But once we took the clamps off and started putting straight edges on it, I found that I had to take off way more than I wanted. In that case, the customer wasn't thrilled about having a desk that was a lot thinner than what we started out with, but ultimately they got on board and ended up buying the desk anyway. So I avoided some pain that time, but that's not always the case. This is a project that's near and dear to my heart. This is something that I wanted to build as a legacy piece that I could leave behind to my children when I'm gone. And I really wanted this to be some of my best work. Unfortunately, the overclamping demon came out in me again, and when I was building these two glue-ups, I overclamped them again. And I'll try to show you some footage, put some photos up on the screen. It can be hard to see now because I've done my best to try to repair these. But these are solid hard maple. They're about 1.25 inches, 1 3/8 per board, glued up with dominoes in the middle for alignment. And once again, I put 16 to 20 clamps on each of these glue ups, applied glue to both sides, and proceeded to clamp until my forearms cramped. And it looked great for a while. And then down at the end on that one, the board started to separate. And once again, I had starved the joint of enough glue to build a good bond that would last for years. So this table's actually been in my shop since 2017, and I still haven't finished it. Mostly because I'm really disappointed in myself for failing to learn this lesson once and for all, which is ultimately why I decided to make this entire video about sharing these lessons with you, because I think if you'll listen and if you'll trust me that you don't need to over clamp your boards, that I can save you some money, I can save you some heartache, and I can help you make your woodworking projects look better in the long run. Ultimately, I feel a little stuck in the middle with this Rubo workbench. I'm not real happy with the way the tops turned out, but I have so much money and time and effort into them that I don't really want to start over again. So I think I'm just going to press on with cutting the mortise and tenons for the legs and getting this thing freestanding so I can use it as a workbench, and you'll probably see it in future videos. Just don't give me such a hard time about the gaps that you see in there, because I too have to learn lessons, sometimes more than once. So that's it. I hope you found this information helpful. If you did, please do me a favor, give this video a like, subscribe if you like this kind of content. I'm not into the gimmicky stuff. I just really want to share real woodworking information. I want to invite you into my shop to join me when I build projects, and I just want to hang out with you and share information. So if you have information about over clamping that you want to share with the community, please drop a comment down below and let us know. And that's it for me. Thanks, friends. Till next time, peace, love, and sawdust. I'm out.